Okay, once again, dividing multi-digit numbers by multi-digit numbers. In this case, we'll do by two-digit numbers. So we have 4,206 divided by 32. Now, I'm going to round 32 to the nearest 10, which is 30. And I'm going to put that over here in my thinking bubble, thinking about 32 being 30. So I'm going to ask myself, how many 30s go into 4? Well, none do. So how many 30s would go into 42? Well, 1 does. So now I'm ready to multiply. 1 times 2 is 2, and 1 times 3 is 3. I'm going to subtract, and I get 10. I'm going to bring down the 0. Now I'm going back to thinking about 30. 32 is 30. And how many 30s go into 100? So 3 30s might go into 100, so let's try 3. 3 times 2 is 6, and 3 times 3 is 9. Subtract those. This becomes a 10, and this becomes a 9. So 10 minus 6 is 4. Bring down the 6. How many times does 30 go into 46? Oh, about once. So 1 times 2 is 2, and 1 times 3 is 3. Subtract, and our remainder is 14. So the answer is 131, remainder 14. Let's try another one. For this instance, I'm going to round 17 to 20 and use 20 as the number I'm thinking about to help me divide. How many 20s go into 6? Well, none do. So how many 20s would go into 62? 3 20s. So let's multiply 3 times 17. 3 times 1 is 21. So watch how I write the 21. I'm going to put the 2 regrouped and the 1 from 21 over here. So it's 21, and that's how I've written it. 3 times 1 is 3, plus the 2 I regrouped in is 5. So now I'm going to subtract, and I get 11 and bring down the 7. Since I'm done using this regroup number, I'm going to cross it off so I don't use it again. Now how many 20s go into 1? None do. So how many 20s would go into 11? None do. So how many 20s would make about 117? Oh, maybe about 6 of those will. So let's try this. 6 times 7 is 42. And here's how we're going to write 42. 42. 4 is regrouped, and the 2 goes down in the ones place. Now 6 times 1 is 6, plus the 4 we regrouped in is 10. And now we subtract, and we get 15. And we'll bring down our 4. Cross off this regrouped 4 so we don't use it again. How many 20s go into 154? Well, that would probably be about 9 of them. So let's try that. 9 times 7 is 63. So we're going to write 63. We split 63 apart. Then we'll do 9 times 1 is 9, plus the 6 we added in, which is 15. 153. So we subtract, and we have 1 as our remainder. So our answer is 369, remainder 1. Let's try one more. Now remember, we're going to take our two-digit divisor and round it to the nearest 10, which is 50. Put that in our thinking bubble. That helps us to do a little bit, division a little easier. So I'm going to ask, how many 50s go into 2? None. How many 50s would go into 20? None. But how many 50s would go into 204? Oh, about 4 of those, because I know 4 times 50 is 200. Now we're going to multiply. 4 times 1 is 4, and 4 times 5 is 20. Subtract, and I have a 0 remainder. Bring down the 8. Now, a lot of 5th graders are afraid of the number 0, but don't be afraid. You can use the 0 in your quotient when you're writing your answers. By all means, do that. So now how many 50s go into 0? None do. How many 50s go into 8? None do. So none is 0. You can use a 0. So 0 times 1 is 0, and 0 times 5 is 0. Subtract, and we have an 8 remainder. So in this case, our answer is 40 remainder of 8. And that's how you divide long division with two-digit divisors using this strategy.